M.O.S. Look, we gotta consider Ice Spice, right? We gotta consider her age range. I'll tell you why I'm mentioning these things in a little bit. Consider her age range, consider her environment which grew up, consider the generation she's born under, consider the kind of things that appeal to her, right? The kind of things that she's interested in, and therefore making these kind of transformation with her body. And this is not just exclusive of Ice Spice. Like, this is typical of like a whole lot of artists. The transformation of transforming your body, right? Putting a whole lot of fake bro. It doesn't get any shallow than this. You know what I'm saying? Because she's how do I want to put this? She's kind of like a shell of what's supposed to be seen as real, but she's a shell of it, right? Because a shell is like an outer a layer that's supposed to, it's just an outer layer that has like external functionality. You know what I'm saying? To just like protect from external, or let external environment have a certain POV, or like a certain look, or a certain perception when they see you, when they see your shell, that is, right? So the whole shell thing is this whole Ice Spice. Ice Spice is the shell, right? But then the emptiness that's inside is the lack of following up, the lack of business acumen, well, the lack of at least learning for the sake of, not just the betterment of your own brand, but also just ethics, proper business ethics, bro. You want to be respected, right? I don't know. Like, I'm about to point out why I'm pointing these things out in a little bit. The lack of just character, bro. Exemplary type character in her. You know what I'm saying? The presence of just like ignorance, like mad ignorance. You know what I'm saying? But then at the same time, it's this whole thing. I'm an artist. Take me seriously. Stream my shit. You know what I'm saying? Respect my brand. You feel me? I'm getting all this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? So the whole emptiness that's inside of all of the shell that the brand Ice Spice has become. And I feel like a whole lot of people, it's because a whole lot of people are actually noticing the emptiness that's within the shell that is Ice Spice. That's why now she's being exposed like this. You understand what I'm saying? But then look at what influenced all of that. Look at the factors that influences all of that. I'm not trying to get on some devil's advocate for Ice Spice. I don't know her from a can of paint. I don't know nothing. Like, I'm not even a fan of her shit like that. I just know lines from her songs. You know what I'm saying? Not no lines. Like, I've heard about lines from her songs. Like, that's how close to her music I get. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't know her, but it's like, look at the generation that she came about of. You know what I'm saying? This whole Gen Z, I believe she's Gen Z, right? Oh my god. I think I'm lazy to hit my boy Copilot, because you're gonna want me to sign in again, bro. I'm gonna, yes. Okay, Copilot.
Hey there. What's on your mind today?
Yo, how old is Ice Spice, and what generation is she part of?
So Ice Spice was born on January 1st, 2000, which makes her 25 years old. And in terms of her generation, she definitely falls into the millennial or Gen Z cusp, so right in that mix.
Cusp? 2000 is cusp? Okay, cool, but Gen Z millennial. Think of how, like, people... Think of, like, the things that brought that generation up. Think of the parental figures that brought that generation up. Like, I would argue, like, it was a whole lot of just, like, empty characters for parents. Like, this generation had empty characters for parents. Like... And respectfully, bro, like, super, like, I don't know how I can stress this enough. I'm saying this respectfully because you got to understand the things that influenced them too. You know what I'm saying? The parents of the generation that parented Ice Spice. So the parents of, well, let me say the grandparents of Ice Spice, right? You know what I'm saying? The grandparents of Ice Spice parented their kids on some kind of empty vibe, bro, because you know what I'm saying, I feel like it was that whole thing where it wasn't that the first wave of independence, feminism type thing, you know what I'm saying, where the woman is like also expected. Maybe not. I'm probably talking about Gen X, maybe boomers, you know what I'm saying. Well, it depends on where you're from, which country you're from. But where I'm from, let me take it, in terms of personally, because I'm also in that kind of cusp, millennium, Gen Z. Nigga, my grandmother like had to, pull herself up by the bootstraps, and make a plan into like getting a life that she was trying to envision for herself. You know what I'm saying? And just like a whole lot of other, people that grew up in her, like around her time, like females especially, you know what I'm saying? They ended up being maybe single parents, you feel what I'm saying? A whole lot of, like, my generation, I'm 96, bro. So a whole lot of people from my generation, you hear about their grandparents, it's all been also single people that raised their parents that became single parents too, you know what I'm saying? That, and then now this generation of millennials and the Gen Zs, they came out of that, right? I don't know, this may be an ignorant statement, but I really think so. You know what I mean? So because of that fact, it's like, yo, the apple didn't fall far from the tree. You know what I'm saying? It's just her version of just practicing the emptiness, practicing the inherited just degeneracy is through, you know what I'm saying, the artistry. You know what I'm saying? The brand that she was trying to build, or whatever the case. I mean, it's exposed now. It's like its true nature is, whatever the case. And I feel like it's gonna just have to be damage control from this point onwards, and really learn from these kind of, situations and what people are pointing out. But besides that, though, it's like, her version of the degeneracy is coming out through, her visions, her ambitions with this music thing. You know what I'm saying? Her business ethics, her business practices. Because, you know what I'm saying, the version of the generation before her was the fact that, all you got on your mind is just the next paycheck. All you got on your mind is just like, yo, I gotta be at work. Don't freaking bother me telling me about, you need me to help you with your homework and shit like that. Don't bother me like you tell me about what? Sports meetings, this, that, and the man. Come on, bro. Like, what is it, dog? But then at the same time, if I see you, fail at school, if I see you getting F's at school, it's me and you, buddy. We squabbling up. You know what I'm saying? I need my ones. As your fucking parent, that time it's like, bro, you don't even take the time to fucking just see how I develop and, come help me with my homework at least. It's like, now how do you expect that kid to just like reciprocate wholesome relationship with their career, with their business, with their brand? They don't know that. All they know is just build this shit, get the shell on, you know what I'm saying, and make it look the best you can. But then that's the limitation of the shell, bro. It can only give you a certain look. Beyond that look, okay, now it's time to act, it's time to deal, right? It's time to move, it's time to dance, nigga. Like, what you got going on? Nothing. An airhead, you know what I'm saying? Take people's money, run off with it, you know what I'm saying? And then when they see me at a distance, I'm still splurging, but you know what I'm saying? I did them wrong and I still got their money. So, man, come on, bro. Like, I feel like at this point, yes, Gen Z have a lot to learn from this specific Gen Z right here. Ice Spice, that is, right? So, and it's shout out to people like my boy Astral Dior, O'Shea Duke Jackson, people that just like expose these kind of angles, these kind of POVs, where it's like, yo, this kind of exposure is a bad look for this artist. This kind of exposure is so that people can learn from it. Most of the time, bro, it's not even about just like exposing motherfuckers on some hateful shit, but it's like accountability, bro. Alright, what did they say? She's Asian and Nigerian? You know what I'm saying? There's a whole lot of people that just like are from. Okay, let me not jump into that. But that's like nationality politics. Is it race politics or nationality politics? Either way, I don't think it's something I want to get into. Right? But anyway, it's like, okay, moral of the story. Let me just try to summarize the thing up. Don't be like Ice Spice. No, I'm kidding. Bro, learn from like how Ice Spice is doing. This shit is weak as fuck. This shit is weak as shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, just try to put an effort in just like educating yourself about whatever career it is you want to get into. Especially when we're talking business. Business speaks louder than a lot of things, because now we're in the world of numbers, right? Business speaks louder than a lot of things. And if you want to maintain things like good relationships, because you need the sustenance of those numbers, most people, they live through that, you know what I'm saying? That's their bread and butter. So they need to sustain their numbers, the income of their numbers, the influx, the growth of their numbers, blah blah blah, right? And that's all business, right? And for that thing to be sustained, you need proper business relationships, and that comes through proper business ethics. Come on, bro. You feel what I'm saying? I don't know, bro. And this is cliche. That's why I'm talking about it on some. And I don't mean to be condescending, just like talking like this. I don't know if you get that kind of tone. It's cliche. We've been hearing it over and over again. You know what I'm saying? Like, just your reputation is key, bro. Especially in the world we live in, bro. We live in a world of social media, projected numbers, projected things on the screen, and that's how a lot of people make money. So get right, bro. That's it. That's all. You feel me? That's it. That's all. So, especially within the generations of millennials and Gen Zs, it's like y'all take the degeneracies of, you know, previous generations and think that's how it should be. That's how, you know, things should be in terms of how we move. Like, nah, bro. Like, proper